Hey swimmers, parents, anyone who is watching this video, today I'm going to show you some of my races from my last swim meet. I'm just going to give my thoughts on how I did as we watch, talk about how I can improve and train differently, and where I might go with my swimming next based on my observations. But before I forget, I want to say thank you to all my swimmers. Coaching you day in and day out is what keeps me motivated to just keep swimming. So first we got this 50 back. That is me at the bottom right there. So closest lane to us. If you know me at all, you know I didn't love backstroke growing up, but I really enjoy it a little more now. And yeah, let's see how it looks. So pretty good start right away. I mean, not bad, and good distance off the wall right away. I see good rotation. I'm satisfied with that. My body's long and tall. I'm getting up to each side. In a 50, I want my arms to go faster, and that's what I always struggled with. This turn was a little lengthy there. Probably could have done another turn on my back, but again, good distance off the wall there. That was probably like 5 or 6 dolphin kicks, and my goal was like 8, but I was a little tired at this point. And yeah, I'm starting to slow down a little bit, but I think I maintained pretty strong overall in that heat. You know, those two guys at the beginning, they really killed it there in the middle. Yeah, they were obviously backstrokers. That's their thing, and they killed it. I'm pleased though, because backstroke has come a long way for me, and I do have the motivation to continue to improve. But I was right there in the rest of the pack with those guys. So next we got this 100 IM. All right, if you ever wonder what it's like to be the coach and hear what we think when y'all are swimming, get ready. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dolphin kicks. Breathing pattern is 2 down, 1 up. I love my body's undulation. That is me going up and down. I've worked really hard on this lately. It gets harder as you get older. Fast turn, kick, 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 kick. That was probably 5 or 6. Back to the backstroke. It's looking good like it was on that 50. I like it. Again, I can get my arms faster. But I'm pleased with my overall stride. Here's that tricky turn that I am always talking about in prep. You gotta get out of there fast, can't grab that wall, you just gotta touch it and go. Now, breaststroke is currently what I think, struggling with the most. I like here, I'm not lifting my head up and down, but I can keep it looking down. I don't need to be looking forward. You know, it's just an old habit. But my hips are up nice and high there, and I'm pleased with that. Really confident. 1, 2, 3, 5. Probably could have done another one, but that's my first breath right there, right near the red marker. And I think I go just 2 whole breaths for this whole 25. And that's a little ambitious for some of you youngsters. You don't need to worry about holding your breath that long, but that was a heat winner right there. I was really pleased with that race. That was really fun. And yeah, I'll come back to that one. And finally, we've got the 100 free. So I'll tell you straight up, this was a tough one. I had some fast guys with me here. We are all together here pretty strong, and I like, again, what you'll see in this race. Pay attention to every wall, that dive and those turns. I am pleased that my body's rotating pretty well the whole time, like I keep saying, I know, but not breathing off this wall. And swimmers, if you can get that, I'm telling you, that's where you're gonna lose your time. Those 50s and 100s this summer, it is all about that start and turn. I mean, you gotta have a good stroke, but I go again here, and I'm not, you know, I'm holding that breath. I'm trying to get at least 2 pulls before I go. You know, I talk about breathing patterns all the time here too. For the most part, I was breathing every 5 here. I think on that last, on the second length, I breathed every 3. I don't usually do that, but I really just held out as strong as I could. You know, I know some of those dudes are done waiting. It was a tough race. It was competitive, but I'm looking at the scoreboard there, and both that race and that 100 IM, I matched my times from a swim meet I did about a year ago. And I'm really, really pleased that the amount of training I did was pretty rigorous for this meet. I guess some of the highlights here, you know, I notice in my stride, especially if you're in my Quest Prep program, or if you're working on any type of, you know, swim team kind of prep, it's like getting up on your side, rotating and reaching. You know, we talk about it all the time for a reason. I didn't do it as well when I was y'all's age. It took me a lot of training to do in my adult life to get that down. And if any of you know my colleague and dear friend, Coach Stan, he was suggesting by the way I look, I might be good for a 500. Now that's crazy from the way I grew up and what I was swimming, but I think he's got a point. I get distance off my walls in my freestyle. I trained a lot for freestyle. I can just go all day. You know, I'm not saying I'm the world's fastest swimmer, but I can swim freestyle for a long time. So maybe that's where I'm gonna go. I love the way that butterfly was looking on the IM, and so I think I'm gonna go for 100 butterfly. The 50 was always my best, my fastest. I just think the older I get, and the way my body was moving up and down, that is what we want. That's why we do all that body dolphin stuff in practice. And so I think that will be on the horizon for the next meet. But the big thing, and this is where you swim team swimmers can back me up, you know, this is all right here, but I need to, I want to try and get a little stronger. So that big old Move Strong equipment we have, that's where I'm heading next. As always, swimmers, keep practicing, eat well, sleep. Those of you who are in middle school and high school, you need to go to sleep at night, okay? Do that. I want to say thank you to all my swimmers. Coaching you day in and day out is what keeps me motivated to just keep swimming.